Hey, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Chris Maloney back with you for another edition of CWN Weekly, episode number 33, coming to you live on April the 3rd, 2021, coming to you from beautiful London, Ontario, which is overcast today, I guess. Temperature's like 7-8 degrees, so not too bad, but it's been up and down lately. So all of a sudden we'll get like a 8-degree day. It'll go down to like -1 at night, and then tomorrow, Easter Sunday, calling for 18 degrees. Absolutely insane. But it's like I said, it's a spring. Can't really complain. We are officially in lockdown once again here in Ontario. It is what it is. Hence the fact, podcasts, interviews, and WrestleMania around the corner. So at least that will do up probably the next 10 days or so, and then the warm weather hits, and at least we can do stuff outside, which is great. But here in Ontario, unfortunately, 28-day lockdown officially started again today, and it is what it is. I tell you that. Just looking forward to the summertime. But again, Chris Maloney here in London, Ontario, Canada. Thank you very much for tuning in. If you are, if you're watching post-show, thank you very much. If you're listening on audio, thank you very much as well. Hit the like, subscribe button, all that sort of jazz. And I appreciate your listenership and your viewership. So as I do every single week, anniversaries, birthdays for the week. So yesterday... Actually, no, not yesterday. 2 days ago. Sorry, it's Saturday, so it's rarity. Well, I shouldn't say rarity. I've done back-to-back shows, but normally I do the shows on Friday, so it would have been yesterday. Anyways, on the 1st, WWF WrestleMania 6 took place Skydome, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, 1990. Of course, the big match was Hulk Hogan versus the Ultimate Warrior. Andre the Giant became a face again, which is absolutely cool. I remember. I was in St. John, New Brunswick at the time, and then saw the local newspaper the very next day. And there's a shot of the Ultimate Warrior on top of the second turnbuckle there, holding up both belts. And I had the next door neighbor at the time had a satellite dish, and all night I was thinking to myself, is he watching it? And how do I get over there? And whatever the case may be, but it's one of my favorite WrestleManias of all time, which I'll get into that more towards the end of the show there. The 3rd, which is today, happy birthday, 52nd birthday to the one and only Lance Storm. So. 52 years old, and he's still relevant. He F4W Online Wrestling Observer. He's part of their podcast over there every now and then, I think on a weekly basis. But I think he's doing Storm Wrestling Academy right now on a virtual basis. So, say for example, you have a match as a wrestler, you send to him, a link to your match, pay him whatever the amount is, and then next thing you know, he will review your match and give you critique. And it's pretty cool because he's one of the best here in Canada as far as training goes. The 3rd as well, which is today. Born 1944, 77 years old, is the one and only Tiger Jeet Singh. He, like I said, 77 years old today, so happy birthday to him. And then officially, and the reason I say that is because she's kind of been celebrating her birthday the past 2 weeks or so. And you look at various sources on the internet, and it's like different birthdays have been announced for this girl, but pretty sure it is tomorrow, and that's the one and only Chelsea Green. So she is 30 years old officially. Not sure the date, but like I said, I do believe it's April 4th. But happy birthday, happy 30th birthday to the one and only Chelsea Green, and happy Easter to her as well. Born 1991. And man, when you start off by saying WrestleMania 6, Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior Skydome, 1990, and all of a sudden, the very end, you get to the 4th, and Chelsea Green, born in 1991. It makes me feel old, I tell you that much right there. Major news of the week is this, and of all the topics, I've picked out 3 things that absolutely have amazed me. 2 more so than the other, but the other is, I'll get to that in a moment. But the first was NXT moves to Tuesday nights beginning April 13th. So officially, that was announced on the 30th. So press release, WWE.com. WB and USA Network today announced a multi-year extension for NXT, which will move to Tuesday nights live on USA Network at 8 o'clock, 7 Central, beginning April 13th. As first reported by Variety, the new agreement for the live weekly 2-hour show furthers WWE and USA's nearly 3-decade-long relationship. The article goes on there. Towards the end, it goes, all new episodes will be available on demand in the United States exclusively on Peacock. The day after it's airing on USA Network, NXT will continue to emanate from the state-of-the-art Capitol Wrestling Center in Orlando, Florida. So that is huge news. You can check out the article as well on cwnonline.ca. But the one thing I'm curious about is whether or not they're changing dates here, and as far as Sportsnet itself goes. So obviously, before they hit on before they went to Sportsnet, exclusively on USA Network. And then next thing Sportsnet finally picks up the rights. And from there, we've been able to watch it on Sportsnet Now on the app, as well as Sportsnet 360 here on Wednesday nights here in Canada. I've sent out a tweet to USA, Triple H, just trying to get some information whether or not they're going to switch here in Canada as well. Normally, they've been silent, but normally when that happens, it means there's a press release coming out either from Sportsnet or from, NXT WWE, so to speak. It'll probably be from Sportsnet. So usually when they're hush-hush about getting back to people, it usually means because there's a press release coming out there. I haven't heard anything. I looked today, didn't see anything at all. But officially, yes, April 13th, NXT moves to Tuesday nights, which is interesting because of the fact you're going to have wrestling 5 days a week. And I'll get more into that towards the end of the news section here. But when it comes down to it, NXT on Tuesdays, you got Impact Wrestling moving to Thursdays. You got AEW Dark on Tuesdays as well, wrestling all over the place. And like I said, I'll get to that more towards the end of the news section because I want to talk about there. The big news, which came out yesterday, which had me kind of looking twice. I mean, it's I even told my wife about it, and I showed her the video clip, and she was like, wait a second. And I got the fan on, but goosebumps going on still. And this is it right here, guys. Chris Jericho to join Stone Cold Steve Austin on the Broken Skull Sessions on April the 11th. So if you're on Twitter, you would have seen it. It hit just past, I still got goosebumps going on. It hit just past noon yesterday on Twitter. And, as I had to look at the time of it, I had to look at the date. I had to look at that verified check mark, so to speak. I said, wait a second, the April Fool's. No, wait, hold on. It's April 2nd, though. And the next thing you know, it's the countdown timer. And I didn't know about the 24-hour one. I didn't realize there was one there. I didn't see it until yesterday at noon. So all of a sudden the countdown timer, and the next thing you know, it's Stone Cold on the one side, you got Jericho on the other side, and Stone Cold just looks at the camera, Jericho looks at the camera, and it kind of gives you a smirk, and I'm like, oh my god. And then all of a sudden WB officially releases the press release, like I said yesterday, and more than 2 decades after his unforgettable WWE debut, Chris Jericho still knows how to keep us guessing. Former undisputed WB champion, amongst the most decorated superstars in sports entertainment history, will return to WB programming for the first time in nearly 3 years as a guest of the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast. A guest of Stone Cold Steve Austin on the Broken Skull Sessions. The episode premieres April 11th and will stream exclusively on Peacock in the US and on WB Network everywhere else. So that is absolutely cool. Like I said, you can go to Twitter. You can go to WB.com. CWN Online has the official Twitter one. I didn't put up the official one with regards to WW.com because it's, I just would have been saying the same thing twice. But guys, that is exciting news right there. And as a wrestling fan, like I said, I got goosebumps and I'm absolutely looking forward to it. Apparently no topics off limits. So, I mean, he's going to go into his WB runs. Obviously, Austin is one of those guys he beat for the Undisputed Championship. It's a WrestleMania season premiering right after WrestleMania 37 Night 2. And then, it's apparently going to talk about AEW as well. So it's going to be interesting there. But you talk about that forbidden door, being kicked open. That is the best way and the biggest way to do it. And Jericho's one of those guys who knows how to make a splash. He's done it in the WWE, of course, multiple times. He's done it with regards to New Japan Pro Wrestling, and now all of a sudden doing it again for the WB Network. So I'm absolutely looking forward to it. It's going to be a big night next Sunday. I tell you that much right there. And then confirmed, I just read this right before I went on the air here. Canadian version of WB Network to air TakeOver, Hall of Fame, and WrestleMania. So this comes courtesy of Slam Wrestling there. So I'm just going to bring up the article here. And this was released by Bloodthirsty. I got to put that nickname in front of there, Bob Kapur, who honestly, ironically enough, I got to meet at SummerSlam a couple of years ago in passing. So I think I was on my way to the washroom or on my way to get merch, and the show was on. I believe it was SummerSlam. I don't believe it was TakeOver. I believe it was SummerSlam. I was at both shows. And anyways, I'm going and he's just walking the halls. And I'm like, holy crap, it's Bob Kapur. So I went up and shook his hand and said I'm a great fan. And, he's a very cool guy. But very intertwined with Slam Wrestling, and I trust everything that he puts out there. Not necessarily all of his reviews, and that relates to Total Bellas and that jazz. But anyways, I trust him for his word with regards to being a source here in Canada. Good news for Canadian WB Network subscribers. In an email exchange with Slam Wrestling this morning, representative from WB Network confirmed that all next week's events, both nights NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver 2020-2021 Hall of Fame specials, and both nights of WrestleMania will be airing in Canada over the WB Network. Since WB announced it would be moving its pay-per-views beginning with this year's WrestleMania exclusively to the Peacock Network, many Canadian fans worried whether they would be able to watch all the events through their current WB Network subscription. Email confirmed that Canadian WB Network offering will be unchanged, and all future pay-per-views and network-only specials, including next week's offerings, will continue to air on the Canadian version of the WWE Network. So that article I will link up with regards to CWNonline.ca sometime later today. But like I said, guys, you can check that out with regards to Slam Wrestling. So huge news there with regards to WrestleMania week next week. Impact Wrestling's Eric Young suffers torn ACL. That was on the 29th. That sucks because obviously Violent by Design is going strong right now. You want a strong showing going into that Thursday show. But this was put out by F4WOnline.com on the 29th, like I said. Impact Wrestling's Eric Young will be out of action for several months due to a torn ACL. During an appearance on the Wrestling Perspective podcast, Young revealed that he suffered a torn ACL at Impact's most recent set of television tapings. Young said he'll be out of action for 6 to 9 months and aiming to make it back in 6 months. At the last tapings, I tore my ACL. Young said, "It's the first time I've ever been injured. I missed my first wrestling show this Friday, and I was booked on it 24 years. I was booked on in 24 years of doing it." So this is frustrating, man. I've never been injured. I've been hurt lots, but I've never been injured. I have to have surgery in like a week and a half, and it's going to be a long, long road. So we'll see, man. It's going to be real interesting for me. So, thoughts and prayers and best wishes for a speedy recovery for EY Eric Young there. And, I know he's a hard worker, perseverance, all that sort of jazz. But it kind of sucks. 24 years and first injury he's ever had. So, that being said, like I said, get well, Eric Young, and can't wait to see you come back. And hopefully you're still part of Violent by Design, because, you are that mouthpiece. And it's funny because I just watched Impact Wrestling this past Tuesday, and how integral, I don't know if that's the word, how major he is part of obviously he's the leader at Violent by Design, but the way he cuts his promos is absolutely amazing, and it's made me a fan of Violent by Design. Obviously Dina being part of it as well, which is cool, and then Joe Doring and Rhino. But the fact is, Eric Young as that mouthpiece he's been instrumental. It's like Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar, you know what I mean? So hurry back, Eric Young, EY, and thoughts and prayers. Like I said, RVD to be inducted into the WB Hall of Fame class of 2021. That was made official on the 29th. So congrats to RVD. Multi-platform host and reporter Charly Arnolt joins ESPN full-time as part of multi-year contract extension. That was released on the 29th as well. For those who don't know who Charly Arnolt is, I will bring up the article and you will understand and recognize immediately who I'm referring to here. So just give me a sec here. This was courtesy of ESPNpressroom.com. And like I said, this came out on the 29th. Multi-platform host and reporter Charly Arnolt will be joining ESPN on a full-time basis beginning in early April as part of a new multi-year contract extension with the network. Arnolt, who recently launched the weekly ESPN podcast, First Take, Her Take, alongside Kimberly A. Martin and Chinny Ogwuming, will continue to have a significant role across many of the network's other significant brands as well. And for those who are not familiar with the name yet, Arnolt joined ESPN in September 2018, hosting select editions of First Take, SportsCenter updates, and SportsCenter on Snapchat. She first gained attention nationally as host and backstage interviewer Charly Caruso with the WWE. So officially Charly Caruso, Charly Arnolt is officially done with regards to the WWE, and she'll be missed. And obviously with regards to Fastlane, Kayla Braxton took over the lead, on the kickoff show there. But good for her, good for Charly, to do what she loves and to, become one of the major female sports broadcasters and journalists and reporters out there. So, good for her. And like I said, she'll be missed. Officially announced for WrestleMania this past Monday, Riddle battles Sheamus in the United States title clash as show of shows. So Riddle is defending the U.S. Championship with regards to WrestleMania there. As well, Braun Strowman Strowman and Shane McMahon has been made official as far as what the stipulation is in their match, and they are going to be fighting in a steel cage. So that came out of Monday at Raw this past Monday as well. Asuka gets ready for WrestleMania 37 with with 2K Supercard's WrestleMania pack. So if you're a fan of Supercard, I believe it's season 7 right now. I've got the app downloaded. I've never actually played it. I bought Battlegrounds. It's a true story. I bought Battlegrounds, and there's this code, the QR code, I think, that comes with it, and or just some kind of code. But anyways, as soon as I put a post out on Instagram, it was a shot of that and a shot of Madden 21, and I bought the games together. And next thing you know, I get all these random messages like, "Oh, can I have that QR code? Can I have that code? Can I have that code with regards to Supercard?" And I'm like, "Okay, so this game has quite the following." But the release was part of YouTube, and with regards to, I think, Xavier Woods, Austin Creed, Up, Down, Down, and so you can find that. You can find that anyways on YouTube. But CWNonline.ca has it as well, so you can check that out there. IWGP World Heavyweight Championship revealed in Korakuen Hall on the 30th. Mixed reaction all over the place, guys. I tell you this, it's interesting. So I was a huge fan, probably my favorite belt, championship belt, with regards to 2021. The current era, so to speak, was the IWGP Heavyweight Championship belt. To me, it just meant something. I was also a fan of the Winged Eagle, not as much as other people in the wrestling universe, so to speak. If you remember the title that Eddie Guerrero won from Brock Lesnar, absolutely loved that title there. So the undisputed title there. But I was a huge fan of the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. The one that just came out that Kota Ibushi was given, I'm not too sure about at this moment. It's going to take some time to get used to. I haven't seen it on the shows yet. Obviously, Sakura Genesis taking place tomorrow. I'll go into a preview just in a little bit here. But it's obviously, when you read the article about it, there's a lot of backstory, a lot of history with regards to the other, the way the championships looked in the past. But with regards to it, I don't know yet. It's when you take the IC title that they had over there and the heavyweight title that they had over there, and you make them into one, and you make them into the current design that they've brought in. It's hit and miss. It's like when the IC title, that precious IC title, that guys like the Honky Tonk Man and Randy Macho Man Savage and the Ultimate Warrior, held, and all of a sudden they came out with that new one. And then Cody Rhodes brought it back, in the white version, so to speak. And I was like, oh man, this is awesome. To me, it's almost like the IC title once again, or the tag team titles when anyway, I can go on and on and on. But the fact is, I'm not sure about the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship yet. Give me a couple weeks. I'll give you my thoughts on it. William Shatner to be inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2020. That was released on the 30th as well. So congrats to Captain Kirk there. It was interesting to see because all of a sudden they announced him for 2020. It's like, why not just announce him for 2021? Because no celebrity's been announced. They still have next week, obviously. But Captain Kirk going in for 2020 class. Dalton Castle resigns with ROH. That is huge news there. Party Peacock. That was released on the 30th as well. Dalton's been a huge part of ROH, and to me, he is ROH alongside Jay Lethal and a few other guys there. Them boys, the Briscoes, obviously. Road Dogg being released from the hospital following medical issue. So that came on the 30th as well. So I'm just going to get rid of some of these articles here in front of me just to make it a little more neat and tidy. Talked about Dalton Castle, and there's the Road Dogg article. So this came courtesy of Post Wrestling. So Brian Road Dogg James being released from the hospital following a medical issue. And like I said, this came out on the 30th. The past week, NXT producer Brian Road Dogg James was hospitalized after suffering what likely was a heart attack. Tracy James, Brian's wife, first shared the news on her Facebook page and noted that it occurred after Brian returned home on Thursday after the NXT show. In an update on the situation, Tracy noted that Brian is being released from the hospital today. He has no blockages and his heart is good. I want to give everybody an update. I just got the best birthday ever. Husband has no blockages and he's getting to come home today. We still have some doctor visits to take him to, but his heart is good. And thank you all so much for the prayers. I do believe in that. So, thoughts and prayers with Brian James, the Road Dogg there on a healthy recovery. And it's life's too short sometimes. I tell you that much there. But he's one of those guys who's been WWE for life, so to speak, since he came back. And, like I said, thoughts and prayers for him to get healthy there. LEC to present New Japan Cup USA. That was released on the 30th as well. To follow up, LEC presents New Japan Cup USA bracket. So I'm going to bring up the bracket here. And it's interesting because there's stuff all over the place right now with regards to promotions, but it's interesting some of the names in the cup bracket here. So like I said, this came out on the 30th. So on the left side of the bracket, you got Clark Connors taking on Lio Rush, Brody King taking on Chris Dickinson, Ren Narita taking on Tom Lawler, and Hiku Leo taking on Fred Rosser. So early predictions. I don't know if I'm going to do a prediction show for this or not. Probably not, but I'm going to say early predictions. I'm going to say Lio Rush defeats Clark Connors. I'm going to say Brody King defeats Chris Dickinson. I'm going to say Ren Narita over Tom Lawler, which is going to be interesting there. And I'm going to say Fred Rosser over Hiko Leo, which leaves Lio Rush, Brody King. So I'm going to say Rush over King. I'm going to say Fred Rosser over Narita. And then we got Rush versus Rosser. New Japan Cup. I'm going to say Rosser. Just looking at the names, I'm going to go Rosser right away. So that is my thoughts on with regards to New Japan Cup USA 2021. With regards to furthering that up, New Japan USA bracket has been revealed, and along with it, some of the first round matchups for what will be an incredible tournament through the month of April on New Japan Strong. And then it says here the first round matchups would all take place April 9th on Strong, with semifinals April 16th, and then the finals on April 23rd. So look for those guys. New Japan Strong, like I said, if you heard me talking about it here on the show, every Friday night, 10 p.m. on New Japan World. Check that out. It's only $9.99 yen, which is, I think, they're $12 or $13 Canadian. So anyways, it's kind of cool that way. WB Superstar Edge on Injury WrestleMania Sports Illustrated Media podcast. So that was released on the 30th as well. So interview with Edge leading up to WrestleMania, of course. Career versus title and number one contenders weapon match made official for Hardcore Justice. That came out on the 30th as well. I'm going to bring up the article here. So just give me a sec. And where are we? I am so organized this week. I'm proud of myself. And here we go. So the card for Hardcore Justice, streaming April 10th at 3 p.m. exclusively on Impact. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that makes it even better. So towards the end of the show, I'll get to what's coming up for CWN. But I was thinking, why are they going head-to-head with regards to WrestleMania? But they're not. So they're being smart like NWA was. Okay, so I didn't read this. Obviously, I know about what's coming up at Hardcore. Anyways, 3 p.m. So the card for Hardcore Justice streaming April 10th at 3 p.m. ET, so Eastern Standard Time, exclusively on Impact Plus, has had its first matches announced by guest booker Tommy Dreamer. So a shocking announcement, Jazz offered to put up her career on the line in exchange for a Knockouts Championship opportunity against Deonna Purrazzo. So we got Purrazzo, title versus career against Jazz. It's going to be interesting there. And then we've got what's called a number one contenders knockout weapons match. And that takes place as well. So that was announced this past Tuesday with regards to Impact. Participants in it are Jordan Grace, Susan, but Dreamer was trying to get Su Yung to reemerge with regards to this match. So it'll be interesting if we see Su Yung, Susan, or Susie. I'd love to see Su Yung. I think she'd beat the crap out of every single one of them. But no, it's going to be Susan officially as far as the graphic goes. Tennille Dashwood, who wasn't sure about being in it because all of a sudden she's got the face of a goddess, so to speak. We got Havoc, who is now on her own. Obviously, Nevaeh turned on her this past Tuesday. We got Rosemary, and then we got Alicia Edwards as well. So I'm gonna do knowing it's 3 p.m. on Saturday of next week. I'm gonna do a prediction show for it. So I'll go more into detail with regards to the whole card next week. But it's going to be interesting because I really thought they were going head-to-head against WrestleMania, but that is pretty cool. Kenny Omega to compete on Impact's return to Thursdays. So, guys, that is coming up now. So Impact is officially done with regards to Tuesdays. They are moving to Thursdays as of next week, so April 8th. But main events, Kenny Omega as well as the Good Brothers taking on Rich Swann, who's champion, as well as Willie Mack, as well as Eddie Edwards. So look forward to that next Thursday. New Day, Mick Foley, Trish Stratus, Sami Zayn, Carmella, and more. WB's The Bump this past Wednesday. It was cool and comical all at the same time, but the Foley thing was great. Trish Stratus was great. Sami Zayn at the end of the show was great as well. So if you if you're not a fan of the bump, or you just want to see the highlights of the bump, so to speak, check out the very end with Sami Zayn. It was cool. Tyler Breeze and Fandango have it. I haven't seen this yet, but it's on YouTube, courtesy of Mackenzie Mitchell, with regards to an interview there, courtesy of WB on YouTube. Star-studded lineup set for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver pre-show. So I'm going to bring up the thing here. And guys, like I always tell you guys, most of the information I bring up, I'd say about 90% of the information I bring up is always on cwnonline.ca. So if I go too quick, and obviously the source would be www.com or impactwrestling.com, whatever the case may be. But most of the stuff I talk about, like I said, about 90% of it is always on CWNonline.ca. So like I said, Stars set its lineup set for NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver pre-shows. So as first reported on WB's The Bump, a loaded lineup guest will help set the stage for both nights' NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver pre-shows. Host Sam Roberts will be joined by MMA fighter and broadcaster Jimmy Smith, sports columnist Arash Markazi, I want to say I pronounced that right, and WB superstar Mickie James. And that goes on to talk about their accolades, so to speak, with regards to their professions there. But don't miss the action-packed NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver pre-shows streaming live as part of a 2-night event beginning at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern, April 7th and 8th across WB's social platforms and exclusively, catch my breath, on Peacock in the United States and WB Network everywhere else. So as I've been saying all kind of week, it's the calm before the storm right now. It's all the time to report things, and then next thing you know, it's WrestleMania week next week. And when I say next week, I officially mean Monday. Catch my breath. Natalia Neidhart, a little twin magic at this year's WB Hall of Fame. So that was released on the 31st. So check out CalgarySun.com for the column, or as I always say, CWNonline.ca. Franky comes to NXT in 2 weeks. WB NXT March 31st. On YouTube. Franky is apparently, with regards to a certain couple's dog, and it looks like Taya Valkyrie is officially making her debut for NXT on the first official Tuesday show. So in the promo, all you saw was this dog, and then this set of boots, and the dog trying to get the attention of whoever was in the boots there. And but word is it's Taya Valkyrie making her debut for NXT on the official debut show for the Tuesday night. So that's pretty cool there. Prime Target, Cole versus O'Reilly, WB NXT March 31st. That promo is up on CWNonline.ca as well. But holy crap, that gave me goosebumps as well. And there's one coming out next week as well. But this match, the way they're setting it up, unsanctioned match between Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly, it's, oh my God, it's to me, it's main event caliber. When I say main event caliber, I mean match of the year caliber. But you think they've got Walter versus Tommaso Ciampa for the NXT UK Championship, as well as Cole versus O'Reilly, Finn Balor taking on Karrion Kross. You got the triple threat for the Tag Team Championship. You got Io Shirai as well as Raquel Gonzalez there. And it's going to be a heavy week next week. But Cole versus O'Reilly, watch the promo, guys, and try not to get hyped up. Hulk Hogan, speaking of hyped up, Hulk Hogan joins Corey Graves and Vic Joseph on WB After the Bell for the first time ever. That took place this past Thursday, so it's available on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, I believe, as well. But check it out. Speaking of podcasts, AEW Unrestricted, Varsity Blondes, that came out on the 1st as well. So that was this past Thursday. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. WB launches the WrestleMania mobile app. So it makes things easier for fans attending. So as far as the merchandise, tickets, protocol, safety, health measures, everything else. So check that out if you're going to WrestleMania, or if you just want to see what it's all about, WrestleMania mobile app. So that'll be Apple Store or Google Store or Google Play or whatever they call it nowadays. I'm a iPhone. So it's I'm all about the Apple there. WB, nope, I already talked about that. WrestleMania murals. See, I'm excited. It's like I said, it's a calm before the storm, but it's like a kid right now because it's WrestleMania week next week, guys. WrestleMania murals taking over the United Kingdom ahead of title classes. That's pretty cool. See some of the murals over there. I think it was Glasgow as well as London, I want to say. Special WrestleMania edition of SmackDown to air April 9th on Fox. I am mixed about this, and the reason for it is because they've got 2 nights of WrestleMania taking place, and it's I'll leave it at that. I don't know. They've got a graphic of Andre the Giant. That should tell you something right there. So Universal Champion Roman Reigns, Daniel Bryan, Edge to address the WB Universe. SmackDown Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship match. So you got Dolph Ziggler, Robert Roode defending against the Street Profits, the Mysterios, Ray and Dominic, as well as Otis and Chad Gable, Alpha Academy, and then the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal taking place next Friday on SmackDown. Everything has been pre-recorded, by the way, so this is all all taking place. WB official Adam Pearce announced the combatants for the prestigious free-for-all will include Akira Tozawa, Angel Garza, Cedric Alexander, Drew Gulak, Elias, Eric, Graham Metalik, Humberto Carrillo, Jackson Riker, Jay Uso, Kalisto, King Corbin, Lindsay Dorado, Mace Murphy, Mustafa Ali, Ricochet, Shelton Benjamin, Shinsuke Nakamura, Slapjack, T-Bar, and Tucker. It says, don't miss the all the action, special WrestleMania edition of SmackDown next Friday, April 9th, beginning at 8 o'clock. And like I said, mixed reactions about it, because to me, the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, I know they used to have it on the pre-show, and maybe they're not doing the pre-shows, but the fact is they've got WrestleMania being 2 nights. I don't know why they switched it to 8 o'clock this year, but they have. So if they've done it at 7 o'clock, anyways, it's, to me, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal should be taking place at this show, at WrestleMania, not the pre-show. And it was interesting to watch a promo about the Street Profits yesterday, with regards to their match taking place next Friday. And anyways, it is what it is. It's WWE, and you're still going to enjoy it. But the fact is, I think the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, to me as a wrestling fan, he's the one guy who got me into wrestling as a kid. There's a little bit of family history that you can check that at CWNonline.ca with regards to Andre. But the fact is, it is what it is. So like I said, mixed reactions, guys. Winnipeggers Live. The April Fool Improv Invitational took place on the 1st on YouTube with Jericho. Haven't seen it yet, but it sounds interesting there. Photos: the 50 greatest women superstars ranked is on WB.com as well as CWNonline.ca. Trish Stratus was number 1. When you go through the list, it's again, it gets me shaking my head, but it's WB's list. It's not officially. It's hard to say. It's like, it's me doing a top 10, and top 10 WrestleManias, for example, which I'll get into at the end of the show there. But it's anyways, I'll leave it at that. But you can check that out at cwnonline.ca as well as www.com. Talk is Jericho. Christian Cage is All Elite, but don't call it a comeback. That was released yesterday. So Jericho's Talk is Jericho podcast there. Triple H NXT TakeOver Media Call. Undertaker Tuesday Move. Jericho were some of the highlights, some of the topics there. It's about, I want to say, 40 minutes in length. I listened to it last night, and he goes over a lot of stuff. One of the questions he actually was asked is there too much wrestling on TV right now? And, Triple H, being the genius that he is, was, basically saying that, you can tune into TV right now. There's probably going to be a soap opera on. There's going to be a sitcom on. There's going to be a news show on. And, it's all out there. You pick and choose what you want to watch. So even though it's on, you don't have to watch it all. You can pick and choose what you want. The more variety, the better, so to speak. One of the other topics he talked about as well was with regards to AJ Styles bugging him for a match this year for WrestleMania. And Triple H said, not necessarily this year, but never say never, so to speak. So it'd be interesting to see if AJ and Triple H ever hook up in a ring. I think that'd be phenomenal. But so that was the media call through Triple H NXT, the pre-show, so to speak, doing it this week as opposed to next week with regards to TakeOver Stand and Deliver. Not on the WB media list as of yet. I am on a list. It's somewhat of their competition, so to speak. So you hear more about that in May. But I wouldn't mind officially someday, somehow getting on the WB media list to be able to listen to those calls and be able to be able to launch them on CWNonline.ca without going through third parties, so to speak, or another website. ROH to premiere 500th episode and 2-hour special on Best of the Planet. So I'm going to bring this up here. So it's interesting because when you go through ROH, with regards to their shows, you always see episode number 496, 497, and also it's like, holy crap, they have 500. So Ring of Honor celebrates the 500th episode of Ring of Honor Wrestling with 3-hour block programming airing free on ROH Best of the Planet on Thursday, April 15th, which is also Jackie Robinson Day, by the way, culminating with the exclusive premiere of the landmark episode. ROH presents the 500th episode special from 6 o'clock to 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern, featuring 10 of the greatest matches in the show's history, including World Greatest Tag Team versus Kings of Wrestling Wrestling, the main event of episode 1 in 2011. ROH World Champion Jay Briscoe taking on Matt Hardy. Steel Cage Warfare, which was ROH versus Scum. The Young Bucks taking on Red Dragon, taking on the Kingdom in a street fight, as well as matches featuring AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Cody. And then at 8 o'clock, fans can watch the 500th episode before it airs elsewhere over the weekend. The show features 2 marquee matches, including ROH Pure Champion Jonathan Gresham defending against fellow Foundation member Jay Lethal in a dream match fans and ROH The Experience Facebook group said they wanted to see. And then they said the main event for ROH episode 500 be announced Saturday 11 o'clock. So that's I read that yesterday, and it just kind of, but I'm going to see if it's been announced, because I'm on actually the ROH website right now. So where are we? Oh wait, yeah, it has been announced. So I'm going to bring this up, and I'm going to save it to my articles list so I can post it on CWN. The Briscoe brothers have been in ROH, so Ring of Honor, since day 1. So it's only fitting they take part in the main event in the 500th episode of Ring of Honor Wrestling. Jay and Mark Briscoe are the undisputed greatest tag team in ROH history. For the landmark episode, they'll square off in a one-on-one match. Oh, okay, that makes me excited. So if you look at the opening graphics there, I've put up some of the pictures I've taken going to wrestling events, and one of those was from ROH back in December of 2019, where I went to a show. And at Mattamy Athletic Center at the old Maple Leaf Gardens there. And the main event was the Gorillas of Destiny taking on the Briscoe brothers, and it was phenomenal. So you see that picture in the beginning there, the opening graphics of them standing on the ropes, and all the plunder, so to speak, and ladders and tables and everything else. And it's to me, yeah, so that excites me there, seeing the Briscoe brothers go out in the main event ROH 500. So that's pretty cool. Logan Paul to appear at WrestleMania 37. That was confirmed yesterday on SmackDown. No clue who the heck this guy was until I Googled his name. And when I Googled his name, I found out a lot of information about the guy, but I think he's going to fit in well with regards to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. And he was kind of shoved by Kevin Owens yesterday on SmackDown. So it'll be interesting to see how he gets involved with their match. Strong Openweight Championship revealed. I feel like I skipped something. Give me a sec. Yep, I did. I skipped one thing here. Cruz challenges Big E to Nigerian drum fight at WWE WrestleMania 37. That challenge was made on SmackDown yesterday as well. No idea what the heck it means, but it's going to be interesting, and I'm sure it will play out with regards to WWE.com as far as what the match itself means. But that challenge was made by Apollo to Big E yesterday on SmackDown. Strong Openweight Championship was revealed yesterday on New Japan Strong. So the winner of the tournament, the winner of the cup, will get that championship. That has a little bit of mixed reaction online as well, because of the fact that you've got too many titles, so to speak. But it is, it's with the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship not necessarily being defended as much as it should be. The fact is, it's to me, it's having another title to be part of New Japan Strong every Friday night makes sense. So I'm a fan of it. And then AEW announces full card for Fridays. The house always wins. So with regards to this, they're doing a house show, AEW, on Friday of next week. And this was courtesy of F4WOnline.com. And the full card is AEW Tag Team Champions, the Young Bucks and Brandon Cutler, taking on Death Triangle, which is Penta, Rey Fenix, as well as Pac. AEW World Champion Kenny Omega and Michael Nakazawa, I love saying Nakazawa, taking on the Sydal brothers. We got TNT Champion Darby Allin taking on To Be Determined. 12-man Battle Royal for TNT title shot, so that's where that falls in. Powerhouse Hobbs, Lance Archer, Ricky Starks, Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, The Butcher, The Blade, Dustin Rhodes, Austin Gunn, Colton Gunn, Dark Orders 10, and Colt Boom Boom Cabana in that 12-man Battle Royal there. Cody Rhodes taking on Aaron Solo in the street fight. We got AEW Women's Champion Hikaru Shida, Tay Conte and Red Velvet taking on Nyla Rose, Britt Baker, and the Bunny. Eddie Kingston taking on Cesar Bonone. The Pinnacle taking on Jurassic Express and Dante Martin of Top Flight. And that's 8-man tag team. So it'd be interesting to see who's in the Pinnacle match. It's probably FTR. I would say FTR and maybe, I don't know, Sean Spears and I don't know. They maybe, yeah, because did I say MJF yet? I don't think I did. So, anyways, but Pinnacle taking on Jurassic Express. We'll have to wait and see who's in that. I'm sure they'll touch base with regards to that on Wednesday's AEW Dynamite. And then Orange Cassidy and Jade Cargill in action as well. So that would be interesting. House show, and then tickets are looks like 6 p.m. bell time. Sorry, 7 p.m. bell time, 6 p.m. doors open, and no TV. You can only witness this event live. So that's pretty cool there. And it's getting through this last, I shouldn't say last, but this next 28 days for us here in Ontario to be able to look forward to the summertime. But it is what it is. WB Untold, Foley versus Edge, WrestleMania 22. That's tomorrow at 8 o'clock p.m. on the WB Network. I know it's on demand, but I always like to see things live, so to speak. So I know you can check it out, but it feels like you're watching with other fans, so to speak, when you're watching 8 o'clock p.m. So that's why I always bring that stuff up. But that's it'd be interesting to see their take, so to speak, on the WrestleMania 22 match. And NJPW Sakura Genesis 2021 tomorrow, 4 o'clock a.m. New Japan World. Don't stay up, guys. It's Easter Sunday tomorrow, so catch it on demand. Catch it sometime tomorrow when you're got turkey or ham inside of you and you're just like, I need to watch something on TV. So anyways, but tomorrow at 4 a.m. live is on New Japan World is Sakura Genesis, taking place in Sumo Hall in Tokyo, Japan. I'm just going to run down the card quickly here, but it's that 13-hour time difference, 14 hours when daylight savings isn't in effect, but 13 hours. But main event, and this is dream match, and I got to check this one out. So IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, Kota Ibushi defending against Will Ospreay. Singles record, Ospreay is down 2-1 against Ibushi there. Next match, we got IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. We got Roppongi 3K, Sho and Yo taking on Suzuki Gun, which is El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Direct tag record, as they put it, is 4-4. I'm going to say this. I'm going to say Sho turns on Yo in this one. That's my prediction there. Next match is Satoshi Kojima and Hiroshi Tanahashi taking on Bullet Club, which is Jay White and Bad Luck Fale. It'll be interesting there. I got to say they go with Jay White, especially considering the fact I think Tanahashi is still never champion. I believe he's still never champion. It's been a long month, and so with regards to keeping up. Next match is LIJ, which is Sanada. We got Shingo Takagi and Tetsuya Naito taking on Jeff Cobb, the Great O'Khan, and a mystery opponent. That's going to be interesting there as well to see who it is. Next is 10-man tag team match. We got Kazuchika Okada, Toru Yano, Hiroki Goto, Tomohiro Ishii, and Yoshihashi taking on Evil Kenta. So Bullet Club on the other side, Yujiro Takahashi, Taiji Ishimori, as well as Dick Togo. And then we got the opener there, which is Taichi, as well as Zack Sabre Jr. and Dookie, taking on Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jado. So that's going to be interesting there. But like I said, NJPW Sakura Genesis 2021 taking place live tomorrow, 4 a.m. Eastern time for us here in Canada on New Japan World. So guys, check that out if you can. Check that out when you can, I should say. Celebrate Easter tomorrow. NXT UK highlights. Valkyrie defeats Stevie Turner. Teo Man defeats Josh Morrell. Kaylee Ray and Isla Dawn brawled with Mako Satomura, as well as Amelia McKenzie. Pretty Deadly defeats Kenny Williams and Amir Jordan to retain the NXT UK Tag Team Championships there. That was, like I said, this past Thursday. Last night, Friday, SmackDown said with the Edge promo, which was kind of cool. He said he's reconnected with the Radio Superstar, so to speak. Ziggler and Rude, as well as Otis and Gable, defeats the Prophets and Mysterios. Cesaro, Rollins had a promo inside the ring there. Natalya defeats Baszler in a quick match. Zayn, Logan Paul Owens promo, which was the actual red carpet trailer premiere. Before Logan Paul could really get his thoughts, we had Kevin Owens come in and stun Sami Zayn. And there's an echo in my mic, so it kind of threw me off. Bianca Belair defeats Carmella. It's interesting to hear Corey Graves on commentary now because he's actually marking out for his his girlfriend in real life. And then Daniel Bryan defeats Jey Uso in a street fight, and Daniel Bryan left basically Edge as well as Roman Reigns laying at the end of the show. So that's how the show went off the air there. 205 Live, Mansoor defeats August Gray, Chase Parkers, and Sunil Singh Bali Rise defeats Tony Nese as well as Arya Daivari. And then New Japan Strong from last night. Rocky Romero defeats Kevin Knight. Alex Coughlin and TJP defeats Mysterioso and Jordan Clearwater. Team Filthy, which is Tom Lawler, JR Kratos, and Chris Dickinson, defeats Brody King and the Regal Twins, which is Logan and Sterling Regal. And then first round matches of 2021 New Japan Cup take place officially next Friday there. New Japan Strong, 10 p.m. on Friday of next week. Raw ratings, 1,701,000. 0.570 18 to 49 demo, which placed them first for the night. Canada 222,300, and then 106,700 in the 25 to 54 demo. Impact, it wasn't 38,000. I tell you that much. That's the news that broke. And I was like, that cannot be right. There's no way. Like over 100,000 fans just decided not to tune in. 148,512 was their official rating for their final Tuesday night show. 0.04 rating in the 18 to 49 demo. Interesting. I'm 45 minutes in, and the cat finally came out. It usually comes out within the first 5 or 10 minutes, but Rizzo has made his appearance. But he's been good lately, so I maybe have to give him treats. And he didn't perk up, so he's focused on eating. Anyways, 0.04 rating in the 18 to 49 demo for Impact, if I didn't mention that already. AEW 700,000, 0.26 in the 18 to 49 demo, 7th for the night. Officially, this was the last AEW versus NXT without it being a special for NXT. Like I said, April 13th, NXT moves to Tuesdays. NXT 654.21 in the 18 to 49 demo, plays 12th for the night. And then SmackDown Fast National, so 2,036,000 watched it last night, and 0.50 in the 18 to 49 demo. So most of those come from, where are we here? What's the official name of the show? Showbuzz Daily. So that's where I get most of the ratings. So when I do the ratings on, say, for example, you see them come on Twitter, I get them officially from Showbuzz Daily. But to do the article, so to speak, I always take them from f4wonline.com usually, or Post Wrestling, just to give people an idea of the breakdown. So I can figure out the numbers easily. Showbuzz Daily, just like everybody else can. But to do the breakdowns and stuff like that, it's more interesting to have the article. So like I said, courtesy of Post Wrestling usually, or f4wonline.com. Previews coming up for this week are WWE Raw, besides the obvious guys. Lashley taking on Cedric Alexander in a non-title match. Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler taking on Asuka and Rhea Ripley in a non-title match. And McIntyre taking on King Corbin. And I saw a promo, I think it might have been on SmackDown last night, and they were announcing Rhea Ripley, Asuka taking on Shayna Baszler, as well as Nia Jax. And there's nothing at stake, so who's to say Asuka and Rhea Ripley work together at all for any reason? And it's interesting as well, when I was thinking about that, I was like, Bayley, I don't believe, is booked at all for WrestleMania. And neither is Charlotte Flair at this point. Do we see Charlotte and Bayley form a tag team, which would be absolutely cool? Because the way the SmackDown ended I shouldn't say ended last night, but there was the Natalya match with regards to Shayna Baszler. There was a whole melee where you had all these teams come out, and that would be the dark horse, so to speak. Charlotte Flair as well as Bayley forming up as a tag team to win the titles, which would be absolutely interesting, because they haven't announced it. There was nothing that I've seen with regards to SmackDown tapings, Raw tapings. Raw is not live this coming Monday, by the way, and neither is SmackDown next Friday. So do they put together this match with regards to the not the NXT, but the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships? That is my prediction. I'm going to make a prediction right now before I actually do the prediction show. But I'm going to say Charlotte Flair and Bayley end up winning the NXT Tag Team Championships. I think that would be cool there. Elevation taking place on Monday. Max Caster taking on Colt Cabana. So a Colt Boom Boom Cabana. And then we get Sky and Paige. So Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page taking on the Seidel brothers, which was been announced. AEW Dark, haven't seen anything listed yet. And then Impact, like I said, for next Thursday, debut on Thursday nights, re-debut on Thursday nights. Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers taking on Rich Swann, Willie Mack, as well as Eddie Edwards in a 6-man tag. So that should be huge there. Guarantee they do more than 38,000 as far as that show goes. MMA Pro Boxing, UFC 260, Stipe Miocic, taking on Nagano. Fight results have been out there for a week now, but the fact is Nagano ends up becoming the new the UFC heavyweight champion of the world. Guys, I will guarantee that within the next couple of weeks, I will get my MMA down to a science, because it's all over the place now, especially with one championship, so to speak, hitting on TNT, Bellator coming back, and then UFC with real fans in attendance. Yeah, it's going to be my focus after WrestleMania week to really put a a dent with regards to my my MMA knowledge and get the names down, everything else. So my apologies, but it's only a matter of time. And like I said, by the end of the month, I want to have it down. DC and Hawane, their latest episode, March 29th, that was released. MMA fighter's finger temporarily disappears during the CFFC fight. I got to bring this up because it was, when I read it, I was like, what the, and then next thing I know, I go and read it. It got even more interesting. So, courtesy of F4WOnline.com, this had come out yesterday. And one of the strangest occurrences in combat sports history, a fighter's finger temporarily disappeared during a Thursday night CFFC event. In the co-main event, Plive, I want to say is his name, was taking on Devin Goodell in a middleweight clash when between the second and third round, Plive and his corner noticed his left ring finger simply wasn't there. If that wasn't bizarre enough a scenario, the ring announcer later asked fans in the arena to look for the finger as it was missing. Shortly thereafter, Plive's finger was found bent back in his glove as it didn't actually fall off. However, it needed to be reattached, and he suffered a severe dislocation. He underwent surgery last night to reattach the finger and is expected to return to action. A later examination of the fight showed the injury was due to a kick that caught Plive's hand just right. It says Goodell won the fight by second round TKO. What makes it even more interesting, former WB star and two-time UFC fighter CM Punk was on the call with MMA's Junkies John Morgan and couldn't believe what they saw. So I haven't seen any of the graphics yet. It is up on F4WOnline.com. I don't think it's up on CWNOnline.ca yet, but that was very interesting to hear about, and then to know CM Punk was on the call. I've got to check it out just to hear his reaction. And then finally, for as far as MMA goes and pro boxing here, so Conor McGregor, Dustin Poirier agreed a trilogy fight at UFC 264 that was announced today. So they both sort of said on Twitter, social media, so to speak, that they're down for another fight. It hasn't been confirmed as of before the show. With regards to being confirmed, but it's Dana White. If there's money to be made, especially with Conor McGregor, he's going to make it happen there. So, guys, it's going to be interesting there. And like I said, stick it to me, okay? By the end of April, make sure I know my names and make sure I'm talking about MMA, UFC, pro boxing even more. And like I said, Bellator won championship taking place on TNT, over the next several. Well, what's the? Let me see here. So one on TNT. One taking place on the 7th, TNT 2 taking place on the 14th, TNT 3 taking place on the 21st, and then TNT 4 taking place on the 28th. We get UFC 261 Usman versus Masvidal 2 taking place on the 24th, and then Bellator. I'm going to check out their schedule as well. I know I just got an email from them, but it's going to be huge for the month of April for mixed martial arts. So guys, hold me to it. Make sure I get my names right and talking about it a little bit more towards the end of April there. But guys, that is it for pro wrestling, pro boxing, mixed martial arts. As always, take a little break here, throw in some plugs for some Canadian independent wrestling content, and then come back and talk about #WeAreCIW. So courtesy, compliments, whatever. So I'm going to play the ad, get some water into me, and I'll come back and we'll talk about some Canadian independent wrestling. Obviously, I need a break.
Are you a pro wrestling fan? Do you want the latest info on shows and the stars that appear throughout Ontario? Are you looking for information and insight into the independent wrestling scene? Want interviews and information on the big leagues? Then you want Knights of the Squared Circle with Ryan Knight on Coyote 103. Ryan has his finger on the pulse of wrestling in Ontario on every level, and he brings that to you every Sunday at noon. Listen for your wrestling fix with Ryan Knight and Knights of the Squared Circle, Sunday at noon, only on Coyote 103.
Hey, are you getting tired of the grind? Getting tired of the same old? Getting tired of living in an echo chamber? Well, if you are, tune in to the Duke You Suck podcast with Duke Durango. We'll be talking wrestling, sports of all kinds, politics, medicine, whatever else we want to get into. What I'm really looking for is for you to go on a journey with me. Perhaps we find some common ground and hopefully have a laugh along the way. So watch this space for the first episode dropping soon, the Duke You Suck podcast with me, Duke Durango.
So thank you very much to Ryan Knight and Mr. Dirty Duke Durango with regards to the promos there. Guys, if you have any promos that you want to throw me, you can get in touch with me, CanadianIndependentWrestling.ca, obviously, or simply put, I'll throw out my email address there, chris@cwnonline.ca. Just let me know that you're interested in doing a promo for the show to get your content out there. And I'll happily play it easily as far as it goes with regards to Canadian Independent Wrestling for sure. So like I said, hashtag we are CIW, and the official website address is CanadianIndependentWrestling.ca. Forward you to the Facebook group. And then, like I said, as always, plug, get your promo, your gimmick, any kind of merch, your podcast, whatever the case may be out there. Let people know about it. I think we're almost, 450 strong or something like that. But the more the merrier. Like I said, just keep it clean, but get on there and promote yourself, promote your gimmick, whatever the case may be. Q&A, Calvert tells all about pro wrestling in Toronto. That was an article. There's two articles that were released by Slam Wrestling this past week. This was released on the 29th. So the rich book of professional wrestling in Ontario comes alive in chaotic detail in a new book by a pair of veteran Canadian wrestling journalists. Wrestling giants of yesteryear like Whipper Billy Watson, Fritz Von Erich, Yukon Eric, Gene Kiniski, and Bulldog Brower come to life in the pages of From Nanjo to the Sheik, Tales from Toronto Wrestling by Andrew Calvert, as well as Roger Baker, out now and self-published. And it says, editor's note, both Calvert and Baker have contributed stories to Slam. So the article's by Marshall, not the article, but the Q&A is by Marshall Ward. You can find the link on, like I said, Slam Wrestling or CWNonline.ca, of course. And then the book is available on Amazon. So that's the first of two. The second was, I saw the article yesterday with regards to it. And that was just loading it here. Outlaw Adam Knight gets creative outside of the ring with Prairie Fire. So that was posted yesterday. It says, wrestling is not all about storytelling. The best wrestlers not only stand out because of their power bombs and clotheslines, but also through the way they tell their story. It doesn't surprise me anymore to hear that a grappler has decided to write a book, but to write a good piece of fiction that keeps you wanting more, that's rare. Prairie Fire, out now and self-published from Nightfall Productions, Inc., is written by Canadian professional wrestler Outlaw Adam Knight. The novel can only be described as an oasis of escapism that leaves the reader questioning what's coming up in the next few pages. So you can check that out. Like I said, slamwrestling.net. Article is as well up on cwnonline.ca, and that book, self-published, is available on Amazon as well. So good to hear there. You always hear about Maple Leaf Wrestling, and I've never actually dived into it enough to go back and see just how important it actually was. Now, you obviously it was important because of the guys like Jimmy Corderas, when you hear talking about it, how he got his first job when, Frank Tunney and Jack Tunney and all these sort of guys. And, just when I, came to Ontario, 1988, my stepdad, military, got posted here. So I came to Ontario and I was here, for a year or so. And, next thing I know, I'm like tuning into TV, and I don't know if it's always been CHCH, but that's what it aired. So it was like Saturday nights. I think it's 7:00, and this was back in like I said, 1988 or so. And you'd see the matches taking place from Maple Leaf Gardens, and you'd have that big old ramp, the WCW ramp, so to speak, as I call it. And it was an interesting way and aspect of looking at it. And all of a sudden you'd have, Billy Red Lions doing the backstage promos, and it was a different feel to it. And then all of a sudden when you're watching Fight Network sometimes, and they do little snippets, so to speak, and you hear about Jimmy Corderas talking about Toronto Maple Leaf Wrestling and the book and the history and the Sheik and everything else. And to me, it's like it's one of those things I want to be able to dive into when I get some time. Toddler, teenagers, married, podcast, website when I get some time. But I'm sure WrestleMania week, once that's done and over with, it'll be a little bit easier. But it's one of those things I'd love just to pick up that book, even just to hear about the history of Toronto wrestling. So guys, check it out. Like I said, Amazon.ca has that, as well as Prairie Fire by Outlaw Adam Knight. Adam Knight's one of those guys who I've heard about for a while. Way back to the days I was doing my original website, and when I was learning about Canadian independent wrestlers, he was one of the first I learned about. Dirty Duke Durango was another one. Scotty Mack, those guys there. So yeah, check out his book, Prairie Fire, with regards to Amazon as well. And like I said, the articles links are up on cwnonline.ca. As far as this week goes, it's hard to announce shows at all, especially in Ontario. So it's nice to see content though. So when I say content, a lot of people still doing stuff on YouTube, podcasts, everything else. And so I always like to list what I've seen this week, as far as what they've listed. So Vidcast 45 featuring Vic Endurance took place on the 28th, courtesy of George Mackay of Straight Talk Wrestling. Bischoff versus Adam Ryder, ECCW Hidden Gems that was released on the 29th. This is all YouTube stuff, by the way. 365 Pro Wrestling, episode number 96 with Nolan Pink was released on the 29th. Join the Society, all capital letters, by the way, exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Clandestine Society is returning. And that was released on the 29th as well. I believe their first episode, their comeback episode, is tomorrow. I will get the details and obviously post CWNonline.ca. The Duke You Suck podcast, episode number 96, with Northern Chicken Chef Matt Phillips, was released on the 30th. Sharif Morrow taking on Daniel Maccabee. That was released on the 1st, so 2 days ago. ECCW Watch Along, like I said, guys, is all available on YouTube, as well as you can find most of the links right now. YouTube, not YouTube, but CWNonline.ca. If it's not up yet, you'll see it up in the next couple of days. Vidcast 46 featuring Ray Lynn, courtesy George Mackay, Straight Talk Wrestling on the 1st. Episode number 84, Carter Mason versus Tyson Dukes taking on Tyler Turva, was released on the 1st as well, courtesy of Bordertown Pro Wrestling. Flip Gordon taking on Matt Angel, courtesy of North Pro Wrestling. Team New Scott. The match took place January 17th, 2020. That was released on the 2nd. Superkick Unlisted, episode number 24. That was on the 2nd as well. NSW made the return yesterday. Overload Season 3, Episode 1. Like I said, that came out yesterday. MPW Into the Lair, episode number 20. The Savages taking on the Golden Prodigies. That came out yesterday as well. And then as of today, PPW Power Slam TV, April 2nd. That's Pure Power Wrestling. I just look at the clock. I'm getting at that hour marks. So I'm getting tongue-tied. But Pure Power Wrestling, that came out today. 5 questions featuring Franky the Beast King, courtesy of the mini host of Straight Talk Wrestling, came out today as well. And then New Evolved on Rogers TV, episode number 99, Bulldog Hines and Cameron Stevens, Tad Howitt, as well as Al Balando. Yeah. So besides MMA names, it's I got to figure out what that name is. But anyways, New Evolved on Rogers TV, episode number 99, and you'll find the link on CWNonline.ca sometime today or tomorrow. That is it for YouTube stuff there. So guys, as I always say, hashtag WeAreCIW is the best way to find out content with regards to Canadian Independent Wrestling, or the website there, CanadianIndependentWrestling.ca. If I'm missing anything as far as your shows go and you're involved in Canadian Independent Wrestling, hit me up, Chris at CWNonline.ca, and let me know what's out there. YouTube's cool because of the fact is you always get the little the bells, so to speak, so you know what new content. So every day when I log into YouTube, there's usually 10 to 15 articles of like mixed martial arts, pro wrestling, Canadian independent wrestling. So immediately I kind of know what's out there. But if you don't see me naming stuff that you've got online, just let me know. Just hit up the website, Chris at CWNonline.ca as well, or find me on social media, which I always announce at the end of the show anyways. But let me know what's out there. Speaking of what's out there, Slugging with Stephen O'Neill featuring the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole. That was released this past Tuesday. So every Tuesday at 6:00 p.m., I do a new, I don't, Steven does, but I release a new Slugging with Steven on the website there itself. So like I said, this past Tuesday was the Bubblegum Princess, Alexia Nicole. I know he's got 3 more in the bank that have been uploaded to CWNonline.ca. I know who they are, but I always like to announce, if he announces himself, that's great. But I always like to announce, at 6:00 on Tuesdays, as well as talk about it on the show 3 to 4 days, post. But as always, CanadianIndependentWrestling.ca, guys, is the best way to get in touch with anything that's Canadian independent wrestling based. And like I said, hashtag WeAreCIW. Something else that's near and dear to the heart is this right here, the Canadian Wrestling Network. And I've decided I'm going to do a screen share here as long as the website is up and running properly. And I don't mean to say that in a negative way, but there was one time I tried to bring up, for whatever reason, the Canadian Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame website, and it was delayed, and I couldn't figure out why. And That's the only reason I say that, because I run the Canadian Wrestling Network website. So CanadianWrestlingNetwork.ca, but it forwards you to a subdomain, which is network.cwnonline.ca. But it is near and dear to my heart. I'm going to do a screen share here, which has been a while since I've done it. But I'm going to see, should be this here. Go back here. Hey, there we go. So I'm going to get rid of the graphics just temporarily here and make it full screen. Yeah, so there, guys, you can see the, actually, I'm going to do this as well. Bear with me a sec. People listen on audio, yeah, I understand. I have no idea what the heck I'm doing, but on video, you can see it pretty clear there. But guys, this is the official website of the Canadian Wrestling Network, which, like I said, I'm very proud of, near and dear to my heart. But as you can see, the website itself here, One Nation, One Network, Connect Proud is the official tagline for it. You see at the very top, home, members, about, and then contact. If you are a member, you will see another graphic here with regards to your membership. You can, filter your profile, so to speak. You have the ability to log out and this and that. And saying that, this is where you log in, so to speak. So if you're a member of the network, let me know and I'll give you access, and you'll be able to post your own articles or upload your own profiles or whatever the case may be. I'm on the CWN Chrome tab, so I'm not on the actual network Chrome tab. Otherwise, I'd be able to show everybody. But this is the website itself. So on the right-hand side, you can see follow the network. So you can see all the social media links. So Facebook, and then Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, as well as Spotify there. And then upcoming events. So obviously right now taking place, and I know I went early, second Saturday in a row, but I was set and ready, so it made sense. But CWN Weekly episode number 33 taking place right now, Easter Sunday. And I did the pay-per-view listings as well. But then you get MLW Rewind episode number 13 taking place tomorrow. That's 12 to 1 on YouTube, hosted by George Mackay as well as Lewis Carlin. You've got the Hall of Fame ceremonies officially announced 8 to 11 on this coming Tuesday. NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver, Straight Talk Wrestling vidcast number 46. So you can see some of the upcoming stuff that's coming up. And that is with Amber Nova and courtesy of George Mackay. And then CWN Weekly episode number 34. Right now, it's scheduled for next Friday at 3 p.m. The social media with regards to our Twitter feed there. You go down below, you've got Instagram feed. You can search the website as well. The cool thing about, and I'll show you guys here, hopefully I'm not going too quick, but you can see the archives. So February is when the Canadian Wrestling Network officially launched. 27 articles came out. March, 122 articles came out. In April, so far, it's been 8. And you get subcategories here. So you can see Alliance Pro Wrestling Network, 29 articles that come out about them. Canadian Wrestling Networks, 157 in total. So that's everything combined. All the way from CWN to Gilme to JoFo to Nice at Squared Circle, Markout Radio, Slugging with Stephen O'Neill, Straight Talk Wrestling, Steven's Wrestling Journey, Team New Scott, The Boys and Belts Show, Backbreaker Media. The list goes on and on and on. So when you go back up top here, you can go to the About section. You can find out why we exist. It's simply put, it's through One Network, we strive to promote the latest content produced by every website, podcast, and social media channel involved with our network. And if you're looking to be part of it for free, simply email me, network@cwnonline.ca. If you've got, a social media channel out there, if you're doing a podcast, you get a website, whatever the case may be, you're doing interviews, let me know that you want to be part of the network. It is free. And basically, I promote. I do promotion on with regards to Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, as well as the website here. And then when you go to the members section here, you can check this out. So you can see the members, so you can see media type, debut, host, founder, location, email address for them, and the social media links. And that goes all the way down the page through everybody who's currently a member of the Canadian Wrestling Network there. And I appreciate every single one of you guys for being part of the network here. And, it's without you guys, there wouldn't be a network. And like I said, I fully appreciate you guys being part of the network. And like I said, if you want to be part of the network, guys, simply network, at cwnonline.ca, get in touch with me, or just go to the contact form on the website itself and basically check it out there. So it's going to bring up the graphics quickly back here just before I end the show. So we are into episode number 33, almost towards the end. Where are we here? So schedule for CWN Online, CWN in general is this. So weekly, episode number 34. Tentatively scheduled for April 9th. So next Friday, April 9th, 3 p.m. live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. That may change up. So I haven't actually or necessarily decided yet whether or not I'm going to do a regular episode or I'm going to do maybe a huge WrestleMania episode. And I'm not... I'm kind of in the middle as far as what I want to do. I might do a normal episode, but knowing it's WrestleMania week, I might mix it up. It's going to be WrestleMania themed for sure, no matter what I do. But I might look to have people join me. If I have people join me and, they're not necessarily available at 3 p.m. on a Friday. So I'm going to look into it. You'll see it announced on social media as well as the website. But tentatively right now, episode number 34, Friday, April 9th, 3 p.m. live on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. But CWN predicts WrestleMania 37 Night 1. That will be Saturday, April 10th at 3 p.m. That will be a premiere on Facebook as well as YouTube. CWN predicts as well Impact Wrestling Hardcore Justice 2021. I had that listed for next Saturday at 5 p.m., but that's not going to work considering the fact the pay-per-view is earlier. So I think I might have to record that the night before, but you'll see a premiere probably about 12 o'clock, so lunchtime on Saturday. But you'll see, like I said, you'll see a predictions show for Hardcore Justice 2021. CWN Recap, WrestleMania 37 Night 1 taking place next Sunday. That'll be a premiere as well on Facebook and YouTube. CWN Recap as well, Hardcore Justice 2021. That'll be a premiere on YouTube, Facebook next Sunday as well. CWN predicts WrestleMania 37 Night 2. That'll be next Sunday, April 11th at 3 p.m. Premiere on Facebook as well as YouTube. And then CWN Recap WrestleMania 37 Night 2, that'll be on the Monday. And then CWN Weekly should go back to regular episode number 35, Friday, April 16th, 3 p.m. live on Facebook, Twitch, as well as YouTube. And I've thought about this. If I do episode 34 as normal, or as per normal, that'll be April 9th, next Friday at 3 p.m. Bonus shows might take place this week, so look for those. And when I say bonus shows, it's be regards to NXT TakeOver Stand and Deliver Night 1 and Night 2, NXT UK Prelude, as well as looking at the WWE Hall of Fame Class 20 and 21. So I may do bonus episodes of CWN Weekly, so look for those there. As well as I've got 3 interviews tentatively scheduled. One looks firm with a fellow podcaster here in the province of Ontario. So looking forward to that there. The other 2 I've been back and forth with. It's just a matter of hammering out a time. Hence the fact I was supposed to do this episode on Thursday night at 8 because we were supposed to do the interview with one of these guys Thursday afternoon, but something came up, so we pushed it to next week. So it's just a matter of hammering down a time. There won't be live interviews, by the way. They'll be pre-recorded, but it will be a new thing. So as you see CWN Weekly, CWN Predicts, CWN Recap, you will also see CWN Interviews, and that will be my next addition to the website, is doing these interviews standalone, so to speak. I've done interviews in the past for past shows, so to speak, where all of a sudden I've gone and done like a 30-minute show as far as news goes, and then done like 30-minute interview, 20-minute interview, whatever the case may be. I don't want to do that. I want to be able to focus on what I want to focus on as far as the show itself goes with CWN Weekly. So you'll see the interviews basically go standalone. So it'll be CWN Interviews, and then you'll see who I get to interview, and be another section on CWNonline.ca, obviously. But the one I've got scheduled for Wednesday of next week is with a fellow podcaster. Looking forward to it. So you'll see that posted next week. And the other 2 are journalists, book writers, so to speak, heavily involved in wrestling here in Canada, and looking forward to those 2 as well. It's just a matter of hammering out times with regards to both of those guys there. But once they are up, you will see it announced on CWNonline.ca. And like I said, it'll be a separate entity as far as CWN Interviews goes. So that'll be next week. Something else I'm proud of right now on CWNonline.ca is top 10 WrestleMania, top 10 WB WrestleMania events of all time. Number 10 was announced yesterday. This is personally from me. Stephen, as well as my wife, are part of the website as well. So it's not their top 10, it's my top 10. So you see my name associated with it. But number 10 yesterday was WrestleMania 1. And then number 9 launches today on the website at 5 o'clock p.m. And you can check that out at CWNonline.ca, and you'll see it continuously go through all the way through WrestleMania Sunday of next week, where you'll get to see my number 1 WrestleMania of all time. And it was tough. I had a list probably maybe 20, and then I had to narrow them down. And once I had to narrow them down, I had to figure out what was number one, and so forth. But like I said on the website today, number 9, you'll see that post at 5:00 p.m. today. The other thing I want to screen share is this. So I got to get rid of the graphics again quickly, and I'm running out of voice. So I'm going to bring it up here on the website. So this will be courtesy of CWNonline.ca. And I'm just going to get it here, and I'm going to do this. Get rid of that one graphic because it seemed to be in the way. So get rid of that. And yes, I'm talking to myself on audio again, guys. And I'm going to screen share as well. But there we go, 2 for 2. So and I'm going to do, it's already full screen, which is great. So, guys, this is the official CWN website, so CWNonline.ca. At the very top here, at the very end, you can see hashtag WrestleMania. So if you're looking just for your quick, easy fix on what's going on with regards to WrestleMania without having to go and dive through a bunch of hoops, so to speak, just to find out the content, media articles, so to speak, matches taking place, Hall of Fame, whatever the case may be, it's all here. So this is the small little subsection of CWNonline.ca. So obviously there's the banner, your host, of course, Hulk Hogan, Titus excuse me, Hulk Hogan, Titus O'Neil. Night number 1 matches. So you got Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, New Day taking on AJ Styles as well as Omos. Grudge match, Cesaro taking on Seth Rollins, Braun Strowman taking on Shane McMahon, and then Bad Bunny taking on The Miz. And if you click on the pictures, it will actually take you to WWE.com articles there. Night number 2, Roman Reigns, Edge, Daniel Bryan, Asuka versus Rhea Ripley, Big E taking on Apollo Crews, Riddle taking on Sheamus, Grudge match, The Fiend taking on Randy Orton, and then grudge match as well, Kevin Owens taking on Sami Zayn. You got the Hall of Fame class of 2021 taking place there. Again, you click on the picture, it'll take you to the actual the article link. So Molly Holly, Eric Bischoff, Kane, the Great Khali, RVD. Guys, listen to the audio. I'm just going through the website here and just giving you a way to be able to quickly see what's taking place as far as WrestleMania goes. Hall of Fame class of 2020, which is already in the books because pictures have been all over social media this past week. NWO, Bella Twins, JBL, the British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith, Jushin Thunder Liger, and as I announced on the show, William Shatner. Then you got the WrestleMania week streaming schedule. It is up to date as of last night. I'll probably have to do some updates today, but you can see officially what is taking place from the 5th, which is Monday, all the way through the 11th. Here in Canada, by the way. So I've also listed the the US networks as well. But guys, you can check this out. So it starts with Raw and then Raw Talk, Hall of Fame, Stand and Deliver. You can see everything with regards to the schedule for next week for WrestleMania and how you can watch it here in Canada. You get video for the official theme song for the weekend. And I was like, when I saw this, I was like, there's no way that can be his real face. But no, it's makeup, obviously. But if you want to listen to the theme song, the link is there. And then latest media. So media which has been announced and with regards to WrestleMania, taking place way back to October of last year, all the way through to every single article I found that was relevant with regards to WrestleMania, all the way through down to yesterday's announcement of Chris Jericho joining Stone Cold Steve Austin on the Broken Skull sessions on April the 11th there. So just a little bit of a subsection there. And then obviously, you can see the links on the right-hand side as well. So a link to CWN Weekly as far as the Facebook page goes. You've got Canadian Wrestling Network, Slugging with Stephen O'Neill, Canadian Independent Wrestling, Start.ca, which is my hosting provider for the website. And then you got Buy Me a Coffee. If you want to buy me a coffee, not a real coffee, well, you can buy me a real coffee, just not right now. But at a show, maybe sometime down the road. But it's just a way to support CWNonline.ca just to help out the show there. And I think that's it. Yeah. I'm going to do this because I'm always about balance. So there, I'll put that logo back up. But that is it, guys. Talking about CWN Weekly. Website, obviously, CWNonline.ca. Email is feed. Oh, yeah, I didn't do the email thing, but I mean, I can say it, but it's easier this way too. Feedback at CWNonline.ca, as well as Chris at CWNonline.ca is the best way to get in touch with me or best way to get in touch with the show. And most importantly, guys, happy Easter. It is officially tomorrow, as well as Monday. I grew up when I was a kid, always celebrating on the Sunday, but then, Easter is always on the Monday as well. As you can see, I borrowed some of my daughter's rabbits there. She's got 6. She's almost 3, and she's got 6 that I found. So I went into dad mode the other day, and she's got this rocking chair in her room, and I took all 6 and put them in the rocking chair, and they were all cozy. And she hadn't touched them. I think I did on Thursday, and she hadn't touched them, and so I've got to put them back. So otherwise, she will yell at me. But yeah, it's you can see the Easter bunnies behind me. There's one on this side, one on the other side. But guys, even with everything that's going on in the world right now, and it was weird. I tell you this, last year with regards to Easter and COVID, and it was the real official time for me anyways, besides St. Paddy's Day, that really made me feel like, hey, this pandemic is a real thing. And I end up cooking here at home just for my wife and myself and my toddler. And it'll be the same thing with regards to tomorrow. Taking it easy, obviously, with the COVID restrictions, just immediate family only. But I'll be doing cooking from first thing in the morning, from breakfast all the way through to having a good meal tomorrow night. And, but don't forget your family, your friends, coworkers, whatever the case may be, with regards to wishing them a happy Easter, making them feel like you care, like you love them, and knowing that this pandemic is eventually going to be over with, and we will look back and still know that we tried as much as we possibly could through it all. But Easter is about family, and so spend time with your immediate family if you're here in Ontario, and make the your best out of it, so to speak, and just enjoy life and enjoy your family, and know that this isn't forever. But like I said, last year at this time was officially when it first hit, and it's tough. It is, and it is what it is. But again, happy Easter, hashtag in front of it. You can see the bunny, and it's been great. But as always, hit me up at Chris Maloney, CWN. I think I said that right. Yeah, at Chris Maloney, CWN. It's been a long one here, but guys, I'm excited for next week in WrestleMania. It's going to be exhausting, but it's WrestleMania week. But as always, hit me up at Chris Maloney, CWN, with regards to social media. And I'm going to get out of here because I am just rambling right now. But happy Easter to you and your family, guys. Look forward to next week. All the shows taking place. The multitude of CWN shows taking place, the interviews, hopefully we get cemented, so to speak. And, it's going to be a heck of a week. But once again, from me to you, my family to yours, happy Easter, and hope you enjoy your day tomorrow or Monday. And that is it. We'll see everybody again sometime soon.